Most people here in Dublin, I know, think that there's only one man running for president in the United States, but in fact, he's running against a man, the sheet with the photograph. The old man with the white hair, I think he's 95 or something. Yes, that's not it. Jim McKay is his name, and he's running for president and he's a Republican. And he was born in Scotland. Well, he wasn't born in Scotland. He was born in the Panama Canal Zone. Back when Teddy Roosevelt had invaded, and they had just taken Texas from Mexico, and now they were down in Panama. Since he was born when the United States had invaded, technically he's an American citizen. And so when he was a young man, he was able to leave Scotland and become a citizen, and moved back to the United States and join the Air Force there. And he was tragically shot down over North Vietnam. There's film of him over there. It's shocking. For those youngsters out there who don't know, the Vietnam War was a 12-year war with the Americans carpet bombing the entire peninsula, trying to stop communism from coming there. 4 million civilians died there. And it's communist to this day and doesn't bother a soul. So it was a horrid war. Horrid. Not that Jim McKay had anything to do with it. He was just doing his duty, of course. A soldier's duty is not to judge, but to fight. And there's a film that will just make you fall in love with him. He's a wounded soldier, and he's scared and frightened, and they're questioning him. And you can see why they want him to be president, because they're proud of him. So anyhow, he was traded with other prisoners and went back to the United States. I guess he thought his life was peachy from then on. But immediately, right away, he got into a skiing accident. The worst skiing accident in U.S. history. They used to show it. It was such a horrible piece of film, but you know how those Americans, they love their violence on television. And they used to show it at the beginning of this sports show every Saturday afternoon of him coming down the mountainside and then just crashing over. His legs are going this way, his arm is going this way, his head is 3 feet behind him, blood everywhere, He broke over 80% of the bones in his body. It was near death. But now he's in perfectly good health, and he's running for president. So he's some story. So the other story, of course, is our hometown hero, our native son. Well, he's not a native either. Let's talk about that. He was born in Hawaii, which is one of the states of the United States. His parents went there for a luau, and after the vacation was done, he was born there, and then they come back here and to County Tara, where they've always lived. County Tara, for those who don't know, is the easternmost and the highest in elevation of all the Irish counties. So it's the first to get the sun in the morning and the last at night. People there have a little darker skin, and they have an accent because they're up there in the hills. But she named her son Barak, which is Gaelic for handsome lad. His middle name is Hussein. Hussein was the steed that carried St. Patrick over the bogs when he was driving the rats out of Ireland. You know the story with the children following behind playing the flutes. The horse was named Hussein. And his last name Obama, of course, just like O'Malley, Obama. I'm sure if you go to County Tara, you dig down 6 feet, you'll see a gravestone that says Obama somewhere. So, and when he was a young man, he was on the bridge below the town, and he met a beautiful lass named Catherine. And he fell in love, and he said, "Will you marry me?" She says, "Well, let me ask my parents, and tomorrow I'll let you know." Me being the garden where the praties grow behind the cabin. So sure enough, he did. And he was so happy when she said that they'd agreed. And they ran off to St. Andrew's Parish up there, and who should answer the door but Father McLaughlin. And if you know Father McLaughlin, with his long nose and his stern way about him, never has a nice word to say to anyone. Father McLaughlin takes one look at Catherine's beauty and he says, "Barack Obama, are you moved by lust here today?" And Barack, you see the statesman come out now. Barack stands up straight. He says, "Father McLaughlin, I'll thank you never to speak in that way again about my love for this beautiful woman who I'll be married to the end of my days." And, you know, Father McLaughlin doesn't care about such a thing. He looks at her again, he says, well, where did you meet then? And Barack says, on the bridge below the town. And Father McLaughlin, who never spoke a kind word in his life to anyone, starts laughing like a hyena. He falls down on the ground. He's laughing so hard he can't stop laughing. In fact, until the two are married and at the rectory door. It's a true story. Of course, they go on from there to make history. They move to Chicago and he becomes a senator. Now, I know you think I'm going to say United States citizens of Irish heritage should vote for Barack Obama because he's Irish. But that would be racist, and I'm not a racist. You'll never hear me say such a thing as that. I'll tell you to vote for Barack Obama, but the reasons I'll give you will be different. And I won't give you the reasons you hear over and over again on the news. No, I won't talk about Iraq or anything like that. I'll talk about two issues that I think are important that people overlook a lot. One is immigration, and I'm not talking about the Irish construction workers living in Queens, New York City, who don't quite have their papers right, if you know what I mean. No, I'm talking about these poor people raised in slums of Mexico City who never had anything as children and never will have anything as adults, and they drink dirty water and they don't have clothes. And I'm thinking of a man living in a plywood shack with a sheet metal roof, and he's got his children. And what's his responsibility to his family, this man? Well, I'll tell you what his responsibility is, as we all us moral people will know, all his fathers will know. His responsibility is to get his family up and out of there and somewhere where they can thrive. And you can't go south, there's nothing down there. All those people are poor down there. No, you've got to go where your grandfather went, where his grandfather before him went. You've got to go up into the United States where there's seasonal labor, migrant labor. Jim McKay wants to build a wall down there, just like the Berlin Wall. And then if anyone gets through there, he wants to arrest them, which is what they do today. They arrest them, they arrest the children, they arrest the parents separately, they ship them back home. It takes like 6 months to get home. What kind of a man would say such a thing? This is the perfectly normal human instincts of a father. This man, this Jim McKay, he's not a father. He's not a father. He's an overgrown child is what he is, if that's his attitude. And Barack Obama, to speak for him for just a moment, I'll let you know that on May 1st of 2006, he marched with the illegal immigrants when they marched all across the United States, all across the world for that matter. And there was only one other senator in the United States of all 50 of them who had the courage to do the same thing that day. All the rest of them hid in their houses with the blinds drawn. And that was Senator Ted Kennedy in Massachusetts. So I'll just leave that be as that is. And I'll tell you the only other issue I wanted to talk about was health care, because a poor 6-year-old girl, if she needs to go to the hospital, she's eating a bad tomato, or she's got an appendix or something, she needs to go to the hospital. She needs to go to the hospital. What is all this? You have to pay money over there. Here, if you're sick, you go to the hospital. Over there, if you're not Jim McKay, you have to pay for it. Of course, Jim McKay doesn't, because he's got a government health plan there, so he's taken care of. But he's sitting up there, he votes against this little girl. She can't help what her parents have or don't have. You know, so he votes against her being able to have health care. That's disgusting. He's not a man. That's not a man. Everybody knows. Anyhow, from the Irish News, we're out of time. Sláinte, which means good luck in Gaelic. Thank you. I had Maximilian print this up for me. I don't like to spell things out on the air. You know, M as in Mary, O as in ostrich. You know. The name of the blog is motormanmark.com.